Hey guys, this is the Blacforje YouTube channel. Today we have Vrøde, and we are going to be speaking with them about their recent single. We're going to speak with them about their new music and about what we can expect from the band. So, welcome, guys.
It's very nice to be here.
Yes,
Yes.
thank you for inviting us.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, tell me a little bit about yourselves. I know you're from the Netherlands, correct?
Yes. So we are based in Eindhoven, the south of the Netherlands. We came together through a yeah, really a school project. Honestly, we are all students or ex-students of a music education sort of institute called Metal Factory.
Okay.
Um, which yeah, so it's a music school focused entirely on metal music. We are taught by some actually quite big names in the Dutch industry, members of Within Temptation, Epica, bass player for Blind Guardian, even. So
Wow.
some big names, and yeah, so we're taught really, how the industry works and get
Yeah.
some tips and tools of the trade, really.
I've never heard of such a school. So, where is this?
So this
Eindhoven.
is yeah. So this is in
It is in
Eindhoven.
Eindhoven.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yes.
that's how why we consider the band to be based there, because that's where we all met and came together. And
That's so
yeah,
cool.
it's the only school of its kind in all of Europe, as far as I'm aware.
In
It's
the
the only
world,
school
right?
of
Or
its
no?
kind that I've ever heard of.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. It's amazing. So when
It
did
really
you all
is.
finish that?
Me and Jordi, we finished last year, we graduated, and
Okay.
Lente is in their third year, the final year, and Jeremy in his second.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yes.
Well, thank you for that clarity. And of course, as far as like your background, Netherlands, it's had a big black metal
Mhm.
scene, but I know that we're going to get to your music in just a minute. You recently released, is it Berserker's Deception? You just recently
Yes.
released your first single. Tell me a little bit about how Vrøde, that is, came into being, and what inspired you guys to start the band. Obviously, the school,
Mhm.
but being in the school, I think, helped you with that. But
Yeah.
what inspired Vrøde? There's specifically the pagan mythology, the folk lore. What inspired that?
For me and Jordi, we started this project together since we were both really interested in Norse mythology and also the pagan stuff, and we like black metal. So we thought it would be great to combine the two, but we didn't like the satanic thing, so that's why we decided to
Mhm.
more focus on the nature and the Nordic mythology.
Yeah.
So we started writing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
it's less about evil and more about
Mhm.
the magical, mystical elements that you often see in
Hmm.
folk and in those old traditions that we thought would be fun to incorporate in the music.
Yeah.
Yes.
Can you share that story of how like that meeting in Berlin was
Yes.
for the shaping of the band?
So Jordi and me in the last year of Metal Factory we went to Berlin on a school trip to record some music. Really awesome, also really great metal scene there. And there was a bar called the Viking Bar, and everything was Viking themed there. So we went there an evening, and there we talked about it, and we came to the idea to start this project. And now it's like a band with a release single. So I think that's really awesome how it went with that.
That's awesome. A Viking bar. It's
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah, it really
You guys
is.
are weird
Really
over
fun.
there. I tell you. I tell you. I'm being silly. I actually wish we had more silly things like that over here. We just have coffee shops.
uh,
Well, tell me, when it comes to your music, I know you have one single. What is the plan for the new music? Are you planning on releasing a full length? Are you planning on releasing an EP?
Yeah, so our first release is actually coming quite close. So we are recording this on January 27th,
Hmm.
and the release is coming out on Friday, February 2nd. And it kind of rides the line between a full length and an EP, because it runs for half an hour. But it's like, how many tracks are on it? Eight, I think, with all
Eight.
the
Yeah,
yeah,
eight.
eight including interludes and
It's full length.
yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
that set was originally, or that material was written with Yanu and Yordi's final exam in mind, which consists of writing and performing a half-hour set on the main stage of Dynamo, which is a venue in Eindhoven. You might know Dynamo Open Air from back in the 90s, like where those like big death sets were and stuff. It's that venue. Um,
Uh,
and so that sort of half hour of music, we decided, this is really good material. We want to put this out into the world. So that's going to be our first release coming
wow.
next month.
So cool. Yeah, we're getting close. Very
Yeah.
close.
Yes.
Very close. It's exciting for all of us.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm
really.
sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure. Well, tell me this. So every band has their ethos. They have their lyrical elements, their thematic elements. Tell me what Vrøde is about specifically, thematically, and lyrically.
Okay, so the first album is a concept album, so it's based on the concept of a story we wrote ourselves because we like to think about things like that and write stories.
Mhm.
It's about Nordic mythology, but based on a story, and it's about a guy, a warrior in a village, and he gets sent away on a journey to a great big mountain with ice and snow and a really cold, dangerous journey. And there he faces many different difficulties, such as Nordic entities, gods, but also within himself, emotions, feelings of being hurt, being sent away. And it's the album is about death, but on the final song, how do I say this? The entire vibe of the song changes, and then he finds himself on a mountain alone. It's hard to explain. Can someone maybe help me with this? Because
Yeah. So from my understanding, it's a concept by Yanu and Yordi. I was brought on in like the first couple months, but at that point the concept was already rolling. Um, it's about sort of a Viking warrior who goes into battle with his fellow clanmates, so to say.
mhm.
And I believe it is the son of the Jarl that dies
Yeah,
during
yeah.
that sort of skirmish, and our protagonist gets the responsibility to report this news to the Jarl, essentially.
Hmm.
Um, and when he does that, he sort of gets the blame for this happening, and he is banished or ostracized, where the title for the record comes from. Um, he then goes on this journey that Yunu was talking about to this great big mountain, and once he gets to the top there, he's faced by, yeah, it's sort of a spirit, really,
Yeah.
who tells him, because he went up there with the idea that when he would go there, that there would be some way to bring back the
This
fallen,
one.
really,
Yeah.
the sun. Um, so he goes up the mountain, he finds this spirit, and the spirit convinces him, like, no, you were lied to. There's no way to bring the dead back.
Mm-hmm.
And he's sort of corrupted by that idea and is told, like, hey, they betrayed you, that messed up, you got to take revenge. And then with the last song, he sort of gives into that and goes back to the village to sort of take his revenge, which he feels is justified through his sort of, yeah, through how he was manipulated. That's sort of the overarching story of the record.
It's interesting because it gives Berserker's Deception, that's the single we released, and the one in which the spirit is talking to him and convinces him to do this, to go back to that village. It has two meanings because on the surface level, he's being told that he was deceived by his village, but actually he's being deceived by this spirit telling him that. So it's like a double deception going on, and that's the interesting part of the title.
Yeah. Wow. How did you decide to make that the theme of the album? Who came up with that? Who was like, hey, this sounds really cool. We should use this.
Me and
I think,
Jordi, we came up with
yeah.
the title, but everyone like agreed on it and that was interesting and cool. So
Yeah,
I would say all of
Yeah.
us.
cool. Oh, I love it. Well, thank you for sharing that. That's cool. Yeah, I mean, of course, there's a lot of bands that are starting to pop up, as you know, that do thematic elements about mythology or fantasy. And so it's really cool that you're bringing that into your music. So this is no shock to people who have been reading the past year, but for most people who read Blacforje, which isn't a huge population, they likely know that I'm not into the satanic black metal stuff. So in the first singles artwork, I noticed that you guys had a pentagram, and I asked Jeremy about it. We were chatting back and forth in email, and you conveyed that you don't write about Satanism, and so what's with the pentagram? What's with the symbolism? Help me understand the tribal
Yeah.
codes and all that.
Yeah, so the thing about the pentagram is since it has a circle around it, it's actually not a pentagram but a pentacle.
Okay.
And the pentacle is a symbol often used in modern paganism to ward off evil. So it's
Oh,
generally the whole sign, because there's also runes around it, and
yeah.
it has some Wezir elements going on, is supposed to convey something really positive. Because the Wezir is about homecoming and a safe journey guided by Odin, and then the pentacle is there to ward off evil and to make it an even more warm sign, like everything is okay. I understand that it can be confusing because the
Mhm.
pentagram is such a universal, yeah, sign for actually that satanic part, but that's not our intended use, and that's why we made sure to put the circle around it.
No, that's cool. Very different. I did not know that. You just educated me. So
Well, there you go.
very, very cool. Now, Jordy, did you have anything you want to add to the conversation before I ask the next question, or are you going to be you want to wait for some more? I
I'll
want to
wait for some more.
welcome you to the group, man. You're sitting there with you've got the coffee maker and blender behind you, and
Yeah,
I
I'm
think
sitting
that
in my
is
kitchen. I'm a small
He's
apartment, so
living
I
the
sit in the
life.
kitchen.
I'm like, that is about as black metal as it gets. You've got black metal,
Definitely black.
literal black metal behind you. This is amazing. So,
And he's our
are,
biggest like black metal fan in the band too, so it all
is he
makes
really?
sense.
Yeah, it checks
Yeah,
out.
yeah,
Basically,
Oh
yeah.
my gosh, it's
yeah.
amazing. So, we'll get back to the questions. The next question for you guys is: given that you're a new band, have any of you ever been in any other bands before? Have you played in any other black metal bands or any other kind? I don't care. Punk, classical, doesn't matter.
Right. Who wants to start us off for this one?
Yeah, let me start.
Yeah.
I have
Yes.
played
Hey,
one and a
Jordy.
half. I have played 1.5 year in a metalcore band named Sonic.
Okay.
We don't exist anymore, luckily, but it was something. We played one show in total, and after that, you're like, yeah, this doesn't work anymore. So after that, I hadn't had a band for all a year, and then we started Vrøde.
Yeah.
That's it basically for me.
So Jordy, let me ask you real quick. What do you play in Vrøde, and what did you play in this metalcore band?
Both the guitar.
Okay.
I was always the guitarist.
And Linte, I didn't ask you, what do you play? What's your role?
I'm a vocalist, but in Vrøde I also do a bit of percussion now and then with
Okay.
little guiro frogs. And together with Janu, we sometimes play frame drums,
Hmm.
also live on stage. But other than that, I've never been good with instruments, so I just stick to vocals.
Cool. And you do? What about you?
In Vrøde, I do the vocals and also the percussion, just like Lente. But I
Okay.
also play the guitar and piano beside it. So
Nice, nice. And Jeremy, of course, you don't do anything, do you?
No, I'm just there for emotional support, really.
Yeah.
No,
Inspiration.
in Vrøde, I mostly play guitar.
Okay.
Uh, I have one song on the album where I do a little bit of throat singing as well. And on the new material, I might work in some of the other instruments that I play. So I've been playing violin for a little while now, and
Oh, cool.
there's some techniques on violin that can make it sound kind of scratchy and a little bit sort of dirty, which brings it closer to instruments like the toggle harpa or the nickel harpa that we use in
Hmm.
our material. So I think on the new stuff, so to say, there might be a little bit of that as well. And yeah, Yordi and I, mostly Yordi, but I also do it a little bit, write like the backing tracks for the music. So all the
Okay.
extra layers are on us pretty much.
Yeah.
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 So
And
cool.
as far as other bands go, this is my first sort of band that I'm in as a full-time member.
Hmm.
I went on a tour as a session guitar player with the band Imperial Age,
Hmm.
and I've done little session jobs here and there aside from that. But this is my first like real proper full-time band. Excuse me.
Cool. And Linthe and Yanu, did either of you play in any other band before or play with any other kind of musical group?
Yes, I did. I played in a brutal death metal band for 1.5 years. That's actually the genre I like the most, really loud, extreme
Really?
music. So
Okay.
yeah, that was really great, but it didn't work out, unfortunately, like some personal issues with the members. So we quit,
Yeah.
I think it was September 2 years ago, and it was also in a month later, Vrøde started. So that
Hmm.
worked out really well, actually.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Brutal death metal, not just death metal, but
No. It's
brutal
noise.
death metal. The clarification there. How about you, Linthe?
I have been in a metalcore band before this, another one from Jordi's, one
Hmm.
that I set up myself, but it didn't really work out with finding the members, getting the message across that I wanted, and I also realized that I didn't really want to lead a project. I like being part of a project, I like helping, but being the big boss wasn't for me. So
Sure. Yeah.
yeah, that kind of developed. I've also been in a choir before a couple times. And I come from the acting scene, so I've done a lot of like real life experience acting where you can for example, you go to a venue or whatever and you run into characters being played by people.
Yeah.
I would be one of those characters that you could talk to. So
Really? Okay.
yes.
Awesome. Awesome. So you'd be at one of those restaurants where they make fun of you intentionally when
Yes,
you walk
yes.
in and then they're playing out the role. Yeah.
I'd be like, how preposterous.
Yeah. That would be, oh, that's so cool. Yeah, I was an actor in a different format, but an actor in a former life. So I get that. I like that. I appreciate it very much so. But that kind of acting, that sounds even more fun. Just being
It
able to
was
mess with
really
people,
fun.
that would be
Oh,
great. That would be
yes.
so,
And especially with children, actually.
oh
Because
yeah,
they get
I
so
bet.
engrossed in the story. It's great.
I bet. Yeah. Well, very cool. Now so you kind of just led into the next question, which is basically I want to ask you guys, who are you outside of Vrøde? Because you're a new band. We don't know how many years you're going to do this. You could be doing Vrøde for the next 40 years. You could do it for two. But as individuals, you are all individually important. And so who are you as an individual?
Who wants
Start
to start
wherever you
this
want.
off?
Jordy, I'm going to look at you, man. I'm going to call you out. I'm messing with you since you're
Well,
in your kitchen, dude.
I have a small apartment, man. Um, yeah, outside of music, well, I am a bit all over the place. Right now I'm working in a zoo, but besides Florida, so that's a thing. Uh, and yeah, I mostly write music, play guitar, writing orchestras, making new music. Yeah,
Yeah. Now, what do you do at a zoo?
I'm a
You just opened
zookeeper.
up a different conversation, okay? So,
I work there as a zookeeper.
wow.
I love animals, so
That's amazing. See, there you go. You love animals. That
I love animals.
okay.
They throw the doesn't become a thing, then I always can fall back on becoming a zookeeper.
Yeah, yeah,
Plus, it's great material for the band group chat where like
Yeah.
he'll be at work and he just like sends pictures of like raccoons he's working with and stuff.
yeah.
Keeps everyone's mood up.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, it's great. Now, are you all still in the Netherlands? Where is everyone?
Yeah, we're
Yeah,
all
okay,
In
in
the
the
Netherlands.
Netherlands.
Different
okay,
cities, but all in the Netherlands.
cool. Okay. Yeah, I didn't know if you were all still in the same spot. A lot of
Yeah.
people that I've met tend to, their band seems to be like all over the country and split up.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a weird era that we live in where you can record
Yeah.
music where you're not near each other. I
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm 40 years old and I grew up playing in a band with a group of friends, and we had to get in my friend's mother's living room to play. We
Right.
didn't have the hookups to a MacBook to record, so it was. So now everybody's like, "Oh, I just send my track in and we dub it over." And I'm like, "How do you?" Yeah, that is not playing in a band, but oh well.
Yeah,
I digress.
that's also one of the things about Metal Factory as a school. We have students from all over the country and even some international. So
Yeah.
you really get to sort of
Yeah,
get a taste of every part of the scene. So
yeah.
the area that the school is based in, Eindhoven, it's a lot of thrash metal, death metal, even a little bit of metalcore.
Hmm.
And then when you look at black metal, you know, I have a bit of that around Eindhoven. Then there's quite a scene in Amsterdam, and then there's also quite a scene even up further north in Friesland,
Okay.
which is sort of um, little bit remote within the Netherlands. It's kind of a little bit isolated. But you have people from all those different parts coming together in this one place, which makes it really cool because there's a lot of like, how do you say that? Kruisbestuiving, cross contamination, sort of. I don't know
Yes.
if that's the
Oh, I
right
see what
word.
you mean. Yeah.
So all these scenes sort of coming together, and you get a lot of really cool stuff out of it.
Oh, yeah. I'm
Yeah.
sure.
Mhm.
Very sure. Well, we continue because we've gotten
Mhm.
Jordy's backstory, but let's
Mhm.
go to the next Yanu. Let's go to you. What's your
Yes,
story outside of music?
I'm a music teacher 3 days a week in
Oh,
singing, piano, and guitar. So it's
wow.
really great. From little kids to like people twice my age. So that's also really fun. And I'm into art and I'm practicing to tattoo. I really want to do that later.
Cool.
So yes, and that's combined with making music, writing songs, playing the instruments. So
So when
it's
you
like
say
that.
you're into art, expound
Yeah.
upon that. Now, I know you said tattoos, but what
Yes.
kind of art?
I had to draw. So realistic drawings like eyes, something animals, something like that, but also tattoos. So
Hmm.
mostly traditional, old school traditional style. I really like that, and
So
I
like
really want to
dragons
tattoo
and
on
things,
someone, but
or
I'm afraid. Sorry?
do you like to do dragons at all? Do you like
No,
to
no,
do
no, no, no.
mythical? Like what exactly?
Mostly old school traditional. So it's like roses, eyes,
Oh, okay.
things like
Okay.
that.
Tailor
Yeah,
stuff or
yeah,
Cool. Very cool.
yeah.
Wow. Okay. So you teach music and you are going to be a tattoo artist and you're in
I hope
a
so.
folk black metal band and you were into brutal death metal and you still are, I'm sure. You're like what he was just Jeremy was just saying. You literally had like cross contamination, just
Yeah.
lots of uh lots of stuff going on there. I like it
Yeah.
though. It's very
Yeah.
cool.
Yes. Thank you.
Jeremy, how about you, man?
Yeah, outside of music, yeah, music is also like a big sort of outside of being quote unquote my job now.
Yeah.
It's also just a big part of what I do. I love composing. Yeah, I've been getting into media composing as well, so soundtrack work for video games and TV
Okay.
shows, things like that. That's something that I want to dive into. Yeah, outside music, what do I do? I'm into film a lot, especially like fantasy stuff. You know, Jim Henson's The Dark Crystal,
Oh yeah.
things of that nature. I used to be big into video games. I've been picking that up a little bit again with Lanta. We've been playing through Kingdom Come Deliverance together, which has been a really good time. It's a really sort of realistically based RPG set in 15th century Czechia, and it's just a great story, and it feels so sort of immersive to play. You know, you really feel like you're in the Middle Ages. That's I've been busy with that a lot. Yeah, I guess those are my primary things. Sort of, I love working with anything fantasy related or historically based. You know, yeah, I think those are my main things. I have some dogs that I take care of. You know, I'm those that's really
Cool.
sort of the gist of it.
No, great. And to make sure I save time, because we've got about 9 minutes left, Lente, I want to go jump to you. I want to know about who you are outside of music.
Yes, outside of music, I play video games like Jeremy, but I also read books. I really just love everything with a story. That's been that's been the majority of my life for the last couple of years, since I realized just how important stories and storytelling always was to me. You can always wake me up for a good story. So that's what you see in the music that I make, but you also see it outside of it with the huge bookcase I've already accumulated at my age, with the slightly too decked out personal computer sitting on a desk. You know, it's I will always be open for a story.
That is great. Now, do you write at all? Have you thought
I've
about
tried
writing
it,
a story?
yeah. I've
Yeah.
I've written a couple books when I was 17, but I don't know. It's so lengthy, and I feel like
Yeah,
I
it
can
can be.
express myself better in music because there's also melody attached to it, and I can use instruments to add to the vibe that I'm setting.
Yeah.
It's a bit more enjoyable to me.
Well, Frodo's in many ways a story. That was one of the things when Jeremy was emailing me that intrigued me. He and I were going back and forth just chatting, and I was like, this band sounds very interesting. They approach this from a more fantastical storytelling approach versus just the standard, let me complain about my woes. And
Yes.
I don't necessarily want to hear that all the time. So
Yeah.
yeah, one of the things I like about Dungeon Synth, I don't know if anybody here likes Dungeon Synth, but
I
I
love
do.
Dungeon Synth.
It's weird. I like it. I don't know, but one of the things I like about it is a lot of the artists are driven by story, myth, fantasy. A lot of their thematic elements come from some form of a fantasy story, and you can listen to the music while you read a book, and it just fits. Everything just falls into place. So you're doing that with a folk black metal genre, but also telling a story, and I think that's really cool.
Thank you.
Thanks. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, let me ask you the fun question. This is where you need to be humble. This is where you need to be willing to say the truth, because people don't care for you to be like, oh, we don't need help. I want you to be honest. How can people support you? Because you're a new band. Um, you're going to come out with your new album here. What's the best way people can get you out there? Is it supporting you through sharing on Spotify? Is it buying merchandise? Is it sharing like the link to Bandcamp? What do you think will help you as a band?
I think the
Yeah,
combination of all the things you just mentioned, to be honest. So
Yeah,
yeah, we gonna put our entire album out there, and every share helps. So and every stream helps. So that's really great if people are willing to do that. And we also just 2 days ago, our merch came in by the post. So that's really great. We have merch now. So
cool.
well,
buy
I'm
new
wearing
merch.
this T-shirt now. Actually, it's
Yeah,
see if I can
Nice.
change
we
the
love the
angle.
design.
It's this
So
one.
Dude, that's cool. I love it. Now, so yeah,
yeah,
tell me what merch you're gonna have.
For now,
Yes.
it's just a simple black and white T-shirt, but we
Okay.
wanna make
Yeah.
also long sleeves and also with the album cover. That's our first album. So,
Cool.
Yeah, we have
yeah.
some more ideas in the works in terms of designs and
Good.
projects that should be coming relatively soon.
Now, will you have the album out for streaming on different platforms, or is it going to be strictly a Bandcamp thing?
We'll have it out on all of the major streaming services, so Spotify, Apple Music, all that
Okay.
stuff.
Amazon.
And then in addition to that, we'll also have it up on Bandcamp, which is the most direct way to support us, really, because that's the platform. I think also why a lot of more niche genres like black metal, dungeon synth gravitate towards it, because it's easier for fans to directly support the artist. Bandcamp doesn't take a very big cut of what the artist gets, and you get to directly sort of see who your listeners are, what they like. They can leave reviews and stuff for your projects. So it's sort of, in my opinion, the most involved platform.
Yeah, it's also a really interesting way for us to get in touch with them and see what they think about it and what they like and what they would like to see merch-wise or events in the future. So if you really like our music, it would be great if you check out the Bandcamp.
And what if they don't like your music, Mente?
If they don't like the music,
I'm just kidding.
they
I'm
don't
playing.
have to check out the Bandcamp.
Do you want them to comment, or I'm joking? I'm joking. I'm a bit of a sarcastic jerk sometimes.
It's all right.
Sorry. No, I think that's great. And any other things that the fans can do to support you? I want to make sure that we get behind you as you start off.
Well, I suppose if we have any people listening that are local to the Netherlands, we have a gig coming up on February 4th in Muziekcafé Helmond.
Yes.
And there should be another one announced relatively soon, and that might be with a really really interesting lineup that I'm very excited about.
That is awesome. Great. Yeah, live shows are hard to come by these days. So that is awesome. Well, send me some of that information. I'd like to share it with, even though I don't live there, I will share it about your live show.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that'd be great. I'll send you an email after we hang up with all the details.
All 5 of my Danish readers will. I'm just kidding. I have to say, I'll tell you this real quick so you guys know who I am a little bit, because you probably don't know much about me. But Blacforje is basically something I started last year. I used to be a journalist for HM Magazine that does more metalcore, and I was doing a lot of black metal for them, but I don't think they really caught on to it. I don't think it was really the thing. And I kept thinking, well, why don't I start something else? But I want to do something where I'm talking to more underground new bands or dungeon synth. I want to talk to people who are not the typical black metal artists that you talk to. And so you guys fit that bill really well, in a good way, in a very positive way. So thank you for taking time to meet with me and doing this. I'll make sure that Jeremy has the link.
Thank you.
And anytime you want to reach out, please do. And
of course,
hopefully we will be a part of promoting your music.
That's great. That's really nice.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Well, it was a pleasure.
Thank you.
Everybody, make sure you check out Vrøde's album. You said on the 2nd, right?
Yeah, February 2nd.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Well, thank you, everyone. Talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.